guilty way. I know he'll be fine. He's absolutely fine with his dad. His dad, you know, can look after him, no problem. I feel that I'm really looking forward to it, but in a guilty way. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know next week. That's fine, because it's nice people make the effort. But after about a month, you suddenly think, no one's calling me anymore. No one's texting anymore. That's it. I've had my time. We're no longer special.
And it does feel a bit like that, because you're suddenly there at home and you can't really, you know, be doing much because you're still recovering and getting used to things. Everyone's gone.
But you do need that. I mean, I think with my husband had, I think, 2 weeks off, and coming to the end of it, I did really want him to go nicely. You know, I thought, you know, I need to do this on my own because I've got to do it on my own, and having him around longer isn't going to help me get into my rhythm. You know,
a lot of my girlfriends who don't have children are in London, and I think with having the child and they're living in Brighton, we just don't see each other, and we do catch up. It's a bit like that. They've still got their same single girl life in London, and I've got a baby living down here, and my life is so different now that it really is difficult to relate.
Talking about this sort of impulse to kind of go into a corner and hide, and I actually had my back to the midwife and my husband the whole time, and I kind of had my head.
You're contemplating, aren't you?
Yeah.
What you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't look at them at all.
Get into a bit of a trance.
Yeah. For a lot of women, they're at home. Labour's probably going a lot faster than they go to hospital and it's slowed right down.
It's the other way around.
Is it?
Isn't that weird?
Right.
Yeah, I had a 30-hour labour, and I think it was a gas and air.
Maybe.
I mean, not me, maybe, just generally you see that women do think, oh, you know, don't make a fuss and just get on with it all. I actually stayed in hospital for 3 days, even though I had a normal-ish delivery, which was unusual, but I felt my ligament had done something and I couldn't move very much, so I thought I'm best staying in, and I don't care if they think, are you alright to go home, because knowing the thing, I just thought, no, I don't feel like I can move properly, which I didn't feel I could. I was like hobbling out to the toilet and I was like, I can't move much. Now I found
it's useful. My auntie came round and because I lost a pint of blood, and my auntie's a acupuncturist, and I said she's an acupuncturist and a Chinese medicine, you know, sort of doctor, if you like, and she made me this amazing salad of lentil stew and things, all called blood building, you know, stuff, and just, you know, and while I was eating at home, that was so good, you know, somebody was being nurturing to me.
You know, my mum, I suppose, was a really proud mum and said she coped with 3 kids. I mean, I just think, God, it's not 1 and 3. But we lived in Iran at the time, and we had a massive extended family, so they really mucked in, so it really made her life a lot easier. But otherwise, God knows how to cope with it. As soon as she goes to sleep, I have to do this. It's like course or work and on the computer and just juggling things.
Do you find it hard too at that time of night to concentrate? Because I find doing a course as well, sitting there at 9 o'clock at night after you've had a really busy day, trying to write an essay.
I don't know, it's just what I've done, because I was working full time before and I was doing shift work, and you just kind of fit it in wherever, and I don't mind. I do find I get quite distracted, and I can only work for sort of short bouts.
I completely see where you're coming from though, because I feel like I've got that missing. I haven't done anything for myself at the moment.
I'm not even going to the gym or anything like that, and I had so planned on doing something like that.
I find it difficult to relax. I've got a lot of nervous energy sort of thing, but at the moment it's just focused on getting the house not looking like a total disaster, and by 8 or 9 o'clock I just want to slob out and watch rubbish television.
I was sitting there today reading a textbook while I was sitting out in the garden. I could have just and watch Indigo the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think, because I started this course before I got pregnant, and I think, am I missing something? She's only going to be this big for so long, and yet I'm trying to do two things and study a textbook and watch her, yet I'd love to be able to. She's only going to be that little for so long, so it's not such a bad thing, you know, you can always do a course.
She's just juggling again.
And then we went to Wales. We went camping for one night.
Camping as well.
Gosh,
Yeah.
that sounds outrageous. Camping for one
We've done
night.
before. Well, my husband wanted to go to this breakdance competition. So, and I always want to go along because I always want a trip somewhere. So we drove. We went there, and that went really well actually. He slept for 9 hours in a row, which he doesn't usually do. Yeah, I don't know. It's really exciting to be able to do those things, and I don't know how much longer I'll be able to kind of just take him along wherever. But I find it really difficult because they don't talk, and you know, as long as he's not. If he seems happy, then he's happy, isn't he? And I can't. I don't know what he wants.
I think you can tell if your baby's not happy instantly. You know, I mean,
You have to be happy in order for
Well, that's what I think. I think that's what I like doing. I like going out every day and you know, going for a walk, going into town and doing things.
That's only good for the baby.
I'm having one of those negative days today where I just think, oh my god, this is it now. She's ruling my life now. But thank you. She kind of decides that, okay, I know how to get mummy out of bed in the middle of the night now. and you know, this is what I do. I just scream until she picks me up, and yeah, I don't know. They're the thoughts that are really going around my mind at the moment. Just that whole, when do they start sussing that you're, that they don't have to actually have a problem, but they might just want to cuddle and.
Breastfeeding wasn't encouraged. Formula when I was a baby, formula was like
in
a
waves,
big thing.
wasn't it?
So yeah, I was really surprised because I was only breastfed for 6 weeks, but I have a brother and sister who are 11 and 9 years younger than me, and my mum was so pro breastfeeding with them. So I was shocked when I had Indigo. It was the first time I'd asked Mum how long was I breastfed for, and she said 6 weeks. But that was what happened in the 70s.
I mean, I suppose it's the bottle or the breastfeeding thing that's worked before, and that doesn't seem to completely do the trick anymore. She doesn't always fall asleep when I feed her.
We have to rock Indigo to sleep. I put her in her cot and then she'll cry and I keep my hand on her.
Yeah.
And I'll let her cry a little bit, but not too much. And then I pick her up and put her on my shoulder. And I'm trying to get her to sleep in her cot. And sometimes she will with my hand on her.
That you just feel that you've got to be around for a long time, especially as I'm an older mum. I'm 40 now, and I think I've got to be alive until at least 65, 70. And nothing can happen to me. And it's really silly because I mean, you know, well, I suppose at the end of the day you haven't got that control or power, but you just think when you've got kids, you just suddenly think. I've got to be around for them, nothing can ever happen to me.
Well, it's a long waiting for me in a way.
Yeah, and me, yeah.
With older mums, you know. Yeah. So I kind of, I hoped it would be a really good experience. Actually, like I said before, I feel really fulfilled. Actually, you know, I find the job of being a mother a fulfilling one. I don't feel undervalued or anything. But mind you, she's only 3 months old. So, you know, I could end up feeling, you know, undervalued and stuff later on. But no, I really enjoy it, and that's what I hoped for. But also, it's interesting, you know, the sort of the lows as well. I kind of think of it as being part of the experience, and that's good. You know, it's not bad that there's the, you know, highs and lows. It's good.